I'm coming up with a series called Red Pill Frontiers, where it gets to the frontier of new thought on the red pill, like consequential, like, okay, you've made it through this. Now we're here at the new frontiers, and what's after this. And it's really interesting. There's not a lot.
You're going to do this? You're going to start?
Yeah, there's a couple items, kind of the red pill frontier where, somebody who's 17, 18, just getting into this. Yeah, you should learn about thirsty betas. You should learn about beta orbiters. You should learn all the 101 stuff. But then for people more my age, the Rich Coopers and the, what's his name? The other Italian, Tomasi's. Rollo. Guys in the 30s and 40s where you've gotten, you're like, okay, now what? And you could kind of see this with Roosh, where he's gone God pill, so he's gone off on that adventure. Yeah. And I'm interested to see what happened. Adam Piggott, same thing. He's been talking about religion. Did you listen to that podcast by the Great One?
When was this?
I linked to it 3-4 days ago. He had a hell of a very dark and depressing, like. Yeah, he called it sterile humans because you're sterile, effectively. You're sterilized. You're not going to have kids.
Well, I saw The Joker on Friday, so I don't need any more like depressing stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe give this a rest.
Where do we find that?
Sinlibsoch.com. And again, warning, very crass, racist, sexist, all that other stuff.
You said you linked that somewhere. I just want to get it.
Yeah, let me hang on. I'll pull it up. You know what? I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, because I'll check that out.
Sinlibsoch. And this is it because he's older than me, and he's never been married and played it right, and he's by all means successful. But you get to this point. The dead ends and destruction of a sterile life. He basically goes through this is what you can expect, and he leads with, we're going to talk about a problem that I have, most other people are going to have, especially if you do this right. So I put it in the chat room there. And he quotes me, he says, and like Aaron Clary says, there is no solution. And so people were like, dude, I'm 5 minutes into this and I can't take it. It's so depressing. But it's true. It's like everyone's standing looking at the abyss. He goes right up to it and gets his nose in it.
Yeah, I'd see the link here. So you really think it's worth checking out?
I think it's worth checking out because what it ultimately does is point out that you're finite. And after you do all this red pill stuff, and after you regain your masculinity, and we're not talking, how do I get the girls? We're not talking this basic bitch shit. We're talking like your advanced doctorate. You're doing research at the Institute of Red Pill or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. Inevitably, it's like, okay, we're going to die. Where are we all going? And he makes the sad point that, okay, women have been taken off the table for the vast majority of men. That would have normally given you agency and purpose. And so what is left? And it's all basically nothing. All right. Now,
wow,
that's not a conclusion to come to when you're 75 years old and you're about to die. Come to that conclusion now so that you have the strength, incentive, energy, and resolve to avail yourself of this life that you have. And you're lucky if you're religious and you believe in an afterlife. God bless you if you do. Because, boy, that'd be nice to think there's an afterlife. And it's just like, bleep, and then you reboot. And like, oh, hey, look at the people down there on Earth. Right. But if you don't, and he's agnostic or atheist, I forget which.
Well, as long as you don't think it's too depressing on a, cloudy, rainy 40
Don't listen to it today. No, don't listen to it today. Don't listen to it today.
Not today? Okay.
Not today. I see. You don't want to get out of a good mood. Like say, listen to it when you're in a great mood, then you go down to zero. It's like, well, why would you want to get out of a great mood? It's important. Here's the reason you should listen to it, because it's true, and people live kind of in this quasi false world or under this false assumption that it goes on forever, and that yes, you're right, and yes, we have these great epiphanies about the red pill and dating and men and women. I think it's also vital to keep tabs on what's going on, like the latest craziness, to remind, not tabloid craziness, because I had a bunch of articles from The Sun and all this other bullshit where it's like, okay, you're a tabloid, I don't trust you. But it's important to keep tabs on, just what kind of a war or just kind of what opinion the opposite sex has of you. So, like, wow, they really don't want you. They really don't want us. And if they do, it's not in a sense that would make any kind of mutually beneficial sense to us. It's a one-sided deal. And again, reemphasizes the very rare instance that there is equality, gals, you guys, after all that bullshit, okay, operating from the principle, about 90% of you fuckers aren't going to get married or find a long-term steady girlfriend. Okay. What do you do? And how do you avail and take advantage of the right? And how do you accept that? Like, yeah, you're going to die. That's already hard enough to accept. How do you accept that what has traditionally been a birthright for guys going back, whatever, thousands of years, who knows? That's done. That's gone. Right. And getting over it and now focusing on yourself. And with the added urgency, hey, you better go fucking do something before it's all dead and done and over. And so I think that is where the frontier is, where, okay, you've done all this and there's a couple things. It's not a lot. It's not going to be like feminism or women's studies where they constantly create more minutia and bullshit to advance. Oh, I have to do a doctorate on something new and cross-sectionality and all this crap. I mean, there's no meat left on that bone, but they'll go to the marrow. They'll grind up the bones. They'll create whole things out of whole cloth in women's studies. The social sciences in general are at this point where there's no new ideas. Now it's just all bullshit. I think there's a couple legitimate, good, deep, heavy philosophical ideas that need to be investigated, researched, explored. You know, Roosh is doing his own journey and all that. And I have a couple ideas, you know, because let's face it, you know, me, Roosh, Rolo, I'd say Pop, especially, you to a certain extent with your entrepreneurship. We were the satellites. We're like the Voyager 1 and 2. We were all sent out in different directions in the solar system. And it's like, okay, great. You got past Pluto. You got past Neptune, depending on the orbits. Well, here's this other shit that you didn't think about in this universe. And we got to report back and say, okay, so once you get here, then the next step is this. And now that we've resolved, I'd say, all concrete items, things that most people are knowing. I mean, what percentage of the people get self-employed and technically don't have to work? What percentage of the people get to the point where it's like, I feel bad about myself if I wake up at 10, even though I got the money and I have no debt. I mean, that's such a few, but there's going to be an increasing percentage of people who do get there because they followed our advice. They avoided the mistakes we did, and they're going to get to this point at 30, 31, 32 instead of 40, 41, 42. And they're going to even have a longer life remaining to figure out, what do I do existentially with my life? And so I think that's where we got to, like, you know, the final thing, the final frontier, we research it, we report back and say, look, there may not be an answer, as the great one figured out. So I'm looking at this pioneering type of thought and philosophy, so that once you get out of the solar system of the red pill, all right, what's next? And there could be nothing. And then at that point, I think we've written and documented and chronicled everything that could be documented about this study, and then we move on. And then, you know, it's updated by new people, but that body of study has been concluded. And unlike feminists and women's studies and all the social science people who just fucking beat a dead horse, we move on and avail ourselves of our life. But it's one of those things that inspired me to write this frontier idea. But listen to it so it prompts you and kicks you in your ass. And what it helped me do, maybe it'll help you do it, is like actually relax. I'm only about 15% successful so far, but I have calmed down. There has been progress. Something you might want to listen to there, because, dude, do you want to do busy season all the time? And how pissed off were you with all the dipshits that call in October 15th at noon with a crisis?
I'm still thinking about this, but there are going to be changes this year. A number of clients are going somewhere else because I won't do it anymore.
Right.
So, and I'm going to do this. Yeah. Whoops.
Right. And you should have fun and relax, you know?
Yeah. I'm working on it. I mean, days like today are great because I really don't have anything to do. There's not any annoying emails. And all the chores and stuff are out of the way. So even if it's a bad weather day, there's stuff I can read, get on the computer.
Right. Right. The trick is to do it without guilt.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing I've found is you need something to look forward to. Like, you need a project, like the kid's third birthday. That it gets you through the next couple of days. You got something to look forward to, but then you got to replace it with something. So even things like joining the Moose Club, I might join the Moose Lodge. I don't know if you know the Moose.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do they do? Okay, they have pizza night and they have beanbag night and they have that night. Okay, let's go. But it's something to look forward to. The Stoics Club. I go to the Stoics Club in the Twin Cities. That's another thing where it's like, okay, you either have given up on chasing a wife, or you statistically thrown in the towel, or you may have an actual wife or a long-term girlfriend. It still doesn't answer or solve or address or satiate your desire for intellectual stimulation with comrades, with friends, with colleagues. And so that's but that's the type of stuff. All right, good old Ahmed again.